Hi again, everybody. Bill Phillips here on a Tuesday. We have a special guest with us, Jamie Baker, back from her honeymoon, and unfortunately coming back to a story that no one ever wants to cover. It's a story that if you don't know, if you're not from the Ohio Valley, you haven't heard the news, it's been on nightly news on NBC. We had flash flooding in Ohio County, Wheeling, Triadelphia, in that area, and it was devastating flash flooding. As at this point, we found out today a seventh body has been recovered, a seventh death due to this flooding. 2 people are unaccounted for. And Jamie was down there yesterday, or not down there, but in Wheeling yesterday, and got a first, up close look to the devastation that many of us haven't had. And if you are thinking out there, and Jamie, I don't want to extend this too much because I know you're busy, and if you have to go, just let me know. I appreciate you doing this, but if you are thinking, I want to go and see what it looks like, I want to go and see the devastation, I want to go and see that the roads are, don't go. You'll have plenty of shots to see that on News 9 midday, 5, 6, 10, 11. People are trying to do rescue work, trying to get everything back together. So don't go. You'll slow down the work that the people are doing to get everything back up and running, and trying to find people that are missing. So I wanted to put that out there. But Jamie, this happened Saturday night, the flash floods, roughly around 8:30 in the evening. Earlier in the day that day, I was visiting Kate Seifert, who was in Wheeling at Ogleby with her husband. They had a company outing they were in for, and we went down to have lunch. I was on that road 5 o'clock, 3.5 hours later. It's a different world now. What did you experience yesterday? What did you see?
Well, Bill, I obviously saw a lot of the pictures and videos that were, on Facebook and social media on Sunday. And so I thought I kind of had an idea of what I was walking into. And we started the day yesterday in Elm Grove at the Respecs at the command center. And we were there, from 4:30 in the morning till close to 9. And, you could still see the debris. We had driven past the Schilling Bridge, which is right by that Respecs. And there was literally a container stuck underneath that. There was a boat in the creek stuck. There were cars stuck in the creek. And so that was very eye-opening. But then we left Elm Grove and went toward Triadelphia, and that was, I was speechless. I mean, the sides of the roads were covered in piles of debris of people's couches, TVs, tree limbs. We saw an overturned tractor trailer that just had its wheels up in the air off to the side of the creek. Houses completely gone off foundations. It was, you see it in the pictures and the videos, and then you see it with your own eyes, and it's devastating. It is. I've never seen anything like that. And just mud everywhere. It is, still very much an active scene. And I do know that they've had a lot of issues, and we hit some traffic yesterday of people just wanting to go and look and take pictures. And, this is something that I have heard from numerous officials. Please, 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 if you are not one of these first responders, do not go down there. It's heartbreaking. It is heartbreaking. We've heard stories. It's heartbreaking. It is one of the hardest scenes I have seen as a reporter, for sure.
Well, we have some comments, Jamie, that I'm gonna put up on the screen for us. People checking in. Trish checking in. This was unreal, heartbreaking, and just saying me too to a lot of the comments that you've made as well. Debbie, prayers for all. Is President Trump helping? That is an interesting question, because the Lou Vargo, emergency management director, he talked about that today. He talked about FEMA and getting involved, and basically they have to complete their. I don't know if an incident report is the right framing of it, but basically they have to make their report on what happened, on the flood damage, and then from what I understand, and you can correct me if I'm wrong on this, Jamie, but from what I understand, everybody has to start turning in what's my damages, how can I do that, and Lou Vargo said get in touch with him, and they will get people to help you put that information together, but they need that to kind of get FEMA on their way and everything else. So that's done. I don't think President Trump or anybody in the federal government can get anything done yet.
Yeah, there is a lot of steps, and that is something that you will see with federal funding, whether it's FEMA or anything else. There is so many steps that people have to take, starting at the ground level and working their way up. I talked to some local folks yesterday, and basically, like, even if everything is gone, report the damages. They need to have the numbers to give to the governor. Patrick Morrisey can then make a declaration to the president. From there, the president can get FEMA on board. I spoke with some folks that work for our federal delegation today. And I know that, Riley Moore, Shelley Moore Capito, Jim Justice have put out a statement saying that they are 100% out behind Ohio County, that they will send a letter of, I guess, recommendation in a way to the president. But there's also other steps that need to be taken. And so before it can even get to President Trump, it needs to go through Governor Patrick Morrisey, but he needs to have those numbers that need to be reported at the local level. So that is one thing that Lou Vargo is really encouraging people. Any damage you have, you need to report it. And we do have the ways to do that on our website, WTOV9.com. Whether you lost appliances, a car, your home, if you report it, those numbers will be what can bring in the money to help, whether it's you personally, the county, they need that. So that is something that they are really pushing hard. If there are damages, please, please, please get on there and report it. And again, you can find the way to do that on our website, WTOV9.com.
And I know with the flooding we had a couple of years ago now, in April, the April flooding on Wheeling Island, and I know people got frustrated with FEMA. They didn't get their money quickly enough, and that, and I can understand the frustration. You've gone through something that devastates your life, and you want to get that money as soon as possible. It's not going to be an overnight process, but it can be expedited by people filling out those forms. So again, that's the biggest thing, is get those forms done. That will really help the situation. Tina checking in, praying for all the families affected by this devastating event. Is FEMA arriving to help these families? We just talked about that. When you were probably posting that when Jamie was talking about that. And basically, they need that information. Lou Vargo and city officials, county officials are doing their best to get that to Governor Morrisey, and then he would get onto the federal government. So I'm sure, and Ryan Weld talked about it. You talked about him or talked with him yesterday, talking about he is not going to sit back on this. It's going to be a full court press for him as he tries to get people what they need to get their lives back in order.
For sure. And, Bill, I think that one thing I do want to say, just after being out there all day yesterday, being on the phone with people, I have to commend the first responders who have been phenomenal. I get emotional even thinking about it. These guys have been out there since Saturday night. Some of them have lost their homes. They've lost friends. And these guys have been phenomenal. They've seen some really horrible stuff. And like I said, it makes me a little emotional, but I really want to commend these guys.
Well, it is tough. I mean, you're seeing it up close, and Tina asking, how can the families fill out forms with no power or internet? The families that have been affected, if they have someone come by their house, if they have a fireman, if they have a city official, go to a neighbor, whatever. This is where people are stepping up to help people.
Yes, and there is a command center at the Elm Grove Respects. There is a lot of people there. From different organizations that are there to help these folks. There are also supplies that are available at Guntree up at the Highlands, as well as at the Armory. That's at 25 Armory Drive. And they do have folks that can help you with that. So I understand that a lot of stuff is not accessible for some people. A lot of people still don't have power. But there are a ton of people that can help. And if you know a firefighter, if you know somebody like that, these guys have been all over the place doing everything they can. So there are situations, and if there's somebody that needs help, they can reach out to us as well. If we can get you in touch with the right person, we're happy to do that as well.
And that's something that I talk about with people all the time. One of the things that we need to do as a television station is, there's blood drives. There's a blood drive tomorrow. That, to me, that's a critical thing. Salvation Army with food drives. So if you have somebody that is impacted by that and they're having a tough time getting to someone, give us a call. And it's like, if you have a friend, a neighbor, you don't have to know a fireman or a policeman. Maybe if you just know somebody, the Red Cross is something that they're always ready to respond. First responders are life-saving, amazing people. And how about the Red Cross? I know the Red Cross.
They are on scene. The Red Cross is on scene. They were in Valley Grove yesterday, and they've been at I want to say the Armory. Yes. So they are around and more than willing to help as well.
Well, Jamie, right now we are going to take a quick break because you know what? It's Valley Converting in T-Town, the gem city of Toronto, Ohio. They're going to help you with all their paper products, recycling. So let's hear from them now.
Every piece of paper has a story. What if that story didn't end when you were done with it?
At Valley Converting, we turn your old paper products into recycled paperboard, continuing the story.
Locally owned and operated in Toronto, Ohio, bringing your paper to Valley Converting isn't just about recycling.
It's about supporting a cleaner, greener future for all of us.
We are here 5 days a week to help you make some green by going green.
And remember,
recycle for your future.
I want to thank Mike Biasi and his crew at Valley Converting for all that they do with the 9-Minute Phill-Up. We greatly appreciate it. And Red Cross and Trish talking about goodwill. Everybody's going to lend a hand. I don't know. We don't have exactly what everybody is doing at every moment, but everybody that I've known that Jamie has reported on, that Olivia's reported on, everybody is doing as much as they can to help anybody that has been impacted by that. And Jamie, I don't know if you had the opportunity. You probably didn't have the opportunity to see it last night, but NBC Nightly News came in. They did a story at noon, and then I watched the nightly news after our newscast last night. It didn't look like the place that I know. I mean, I watched our newscast, and it still doesn't. You look at it, and this can't be, Ohio County. This can't be. That's not that road. I just drove on that road 3 hours before this happened. And then you're watching nightly news, and I don't know if it's a thing because it's literally your backyard or your front yard. And you're looking at it on national TV, and you're like, I don't recognize that place. Mm-hmm. And they're talking about West Virginia, and it's kind of like, this is crazy. And I don't know if you got to see that, but being there in person yesterday, did you get that sense like that? I don't recognize this place right now. This isn't what I'm used to seeing here. Or maybe it's just a TV thing, and you're watching it. It's a different vibe you're getting because it's a national story and the way they produce it and put it out there.
Well, I would just say, when we kind of drove into Triadelphia, I think I was just stunned by how much damage there was. I think that was the big thing. Like, you're kind of sitting there, and, I think my jaw just kind of dropped. My videographer, Rick, and I didn't even really say anything. It was just like, oh my God, look at this. And then you see the videos online of what people saw and how fast the water was moving. And it's just, I've had so many people describe it to me. They just said it was like a wall of water. It came out of nowhere. You just like heard this crack, and it was like a dam bursted. So it's, as somebody who's driven National Road 1,000 times through Ohio County, to kind of see there's spots where there's not houses standing there anymore. Trees are gone. So it is very much, it's, I don't want to say apocalyptic looking, but you can tell something major happened there. And we stopped and talked to somebody on National Road yesterday. They were clearing out their house, and their entire side yard was covered in, a treadmill, their washer, their dryer. Like, it was probably 15 different things that were just appliances, trashed, covered in mud. And I said to him, "Are you guys okay? Like, are you?" And he said, "Oh yeah." and this really struck me. Here's this person who's lost so much, and he goes, "We're alive. We're great.
Mhm.
We're going to look at this as spring cleaning." And it kind of stuck with me yesterday, that these people are losing so much and they're still trying to be so positive. And I have to say that this community, I mean, I've known this. There's no better place in the world to be than here, because these people have just stepped up. Everybody is doing everything they can to help their neighbors, help people they don't even know. The response from the community, and I've heard this from people who live here, first responders, the response from the community has been incredible. I cannot say enough about the folks here that have stepped up, whether it's local businesses providing food or bottled water, or going in to clean up, providing clothes, shelter, whatever. Everybody has just stepped up and done everything they can to help some people they don't even know. And I just,
Mhm.
that if that's not the Ohio Valley, I don't know what is, because that is what I've come to know and love about this area over the last 7.5 years. They've been there for each other. And that's been, you see all this awful stuff. That has been kind of the bright spot in all of this, is
Mhm.
seeing the love that has been shared and passed around
Yeah,
throughout the tragedy.
unconditional love.
Yeah.
Unconditional love at that. John checks in, says prayers for those affected by this disaster. Absolutely. And one of this, you mentioned something. You mentioned about people just stepping up and doing what they can. Chester, this is off the top of my head. I don't have my scripts from this morning. American Legion Post, I believe it's 151 in Chester. They're going to take donations, paper products, cleaning products, all that stuff. 10 a.m. to 2 a.m. Bring it in, and they're going to have a truck go down on Monday. I believe the Kroger Corporation has just come out and announced they're going to donate cleaning supplies. People have just been, loading up and bringing cleaning supplies there, and paper products, and toothpaste and things you don't even think of that people need when just to do it. But everybody has stepped up. Again, we have 2 people that are unaccounted for, so we are waiting and hoping against hope, if we have to, that somehow they are found safe. But 7 perished due to the flash floods over the past couple of days. Sissy checking in. Shovels are needed. Absolutely, people need shovels to dig out from all the mud and everything in the yards. But Jamie, as we wrap this up, because I know you're busy and you're going to cover a number of other stories about this today, just if you can sum it up a little bit, just your thoughts on everything that you saw, everything that you see first responders doing and the community doing as this flash flood, which again, and I know Jeff says it on the newscast, turn around, don't drown. And it's not necessarily the same thing, because a flash flood and standing water in a roadway, 2 different things. But at the same time, it just shows you how unforgiving water is, especially when it gets moving that fast. So anytime, if there's any type of warning that you can heed, with flash floods or water or any natural disaster, like take safety. And if nothing happens, you go, wow, that was nothing. We didn't have to worry about it. Take the safety. But again, Jamie, just your thoughts on final thoughts on what you've seen over the past 24, 48 hours.
Yeah, and it's it happened fast, but it's going to take months and months and months and years for some people to clean up and to get back what they've lost. So really, just some major points. Again, if you suffered damages, please let them know. The more numbers they have, the more they know, the more likely it is that state and federal funding will come sooner rather than later. So that is a huge thing. There's a lot of cleanup. If you are not somebody that lives in the area, do not go to the area. Stay away from it. You don't need to be taking pictures. There are actual searches that were impeded yesterday because people wanted to come down and look. So if you don't live in the area, just don't go. Stay away. let the first responders handle it. That is, something they are pleading for. And, they're hoping to find these other two people. If they can do that quickly, that is what we'd like to see. Again, the first responders, incredible. I have seen them in the creeks, talking to people, giving out tetanus shots. These folks have barely slept. They have barely had time to shower. Some people can't even access their homes because they live in the worst of it. So thank you to the first responders. And, again, we are able to have a voice and be a part of this. If there is anything people need, please let us know. We are here to tell the stories. If we can get the word out, we can get you help. So we are here. We are happy to help. And, anything we can do, we will do.
Absolutely. I second that. Eddie, if you need to make a call, if there's anything we can do to help people get those forms filled out, in terms of anything that we can do, please let us know. Jamie, I know you are super busy, and I can't thank you enough for taking the time to come on the 9-Minute Phill-Up. I can't thank everybody enough for your comments today. And again, if you know somebody that has some things that they need that we can help with, please don't hesitate to reach out. If we can't help you specifically, we can point you in the right direction or find somebody that can help you. So, Jamie, thank you very much. Hey, Jamie, remember the two rules. Remember the two rules. Have fun and always try your best. And I know that's tough in these days, but if we can do that, it's going to get a little bit better as we go. But again, thank you. And we're going to say so long to everybody right now. So we will see you later. Jamie, we'll talk to you later. Thank you. And thank you, everybody, for joining us. Valley Converting, thank you very much for all that you do for us. Have a great day, everybody. We'll talk to you tomorrow.